Good morning. Good morning to one and all in the universe. We are on a page here. We are on a topic. We are on a balance. We are on a truth of straightening the line. Straightening the line to keep the line straight and to keep the growth straight. It's a blessing to have my brothers in sequence with me. It's a blessing to have my father in sequence with me. It's a blessing to have mother in the sequence of life with me. With these teachings that I'm about to give as rules and regulations of corrections, in fourth with the situations of life on earth here. Life on earth here after you left here. These are the situations. So we're going back to the same situations as I said. We are here to listen to the rules and the regulations of life itself. The rule and the regulations of life itself towards the disciplines of life itself. The concept of the discipline of life itself. So we're going to give you those ways, as I said, fourth. These terms only come one time for you to know you in the path. Listen carefully while you take these notes. We correct the universe. Situations, liberties, government, officers. These are your concepts here. Judge, lawyers. These are your concepts here. These are your terms here for your circle. And these are the terms here for the universe itself, for the whole entire universe. While I'm here. Let's give you these terms again. You already have the first section. You're about to start the second section here. All right? Brothers, are you here? Yes, they are. Let's deal with the situations here now. As I said fourth, first step is the respect of the rules. It's the rules that has the balance of truth. The balance of truth, as I said, all of these courses of life have to take over. Step one, we're looking at officers today again. There's some charges that's been going on in the universe of life. There's some elevations of wrong ways of your result. Of your result and your rules that I saw. The result of your rules that I saw in the ways of life has to be corrected. These are the training steps of a better growth for the ones that's coming while you go. You cannot have the situations of life running in the same cycle in the universe at all times. You cannot have people lost in your cycle of craziness of life itself. So when I look at those rules last week, and I gave you my levels of teachings for just those balance rules there, it's the effect of the changing of the rules. It's the effect of the loved ones, and it's the effect of the growth. It's the effect of the balance. So look back at you. And look back at me. Where do we go from here? How do we fix from here? How do we make this change from here? We are not all pulling in the same directions. Some pull straight and some pull overboard. We are not pulling in the same directions here in the speaking forth. As you can see, forth, the sky is blue. As I said, the unifications of blue is truth. Once you see the sky turns blue, it's a full knowledge of truth, of teachings while I teach. As I said, I take these steps as a respect from the heavens, and a respect from my brothers, and a respect from my father, respect from my mother. And through and in your prayers has the answers here. The thing, as I said, forth, as government and officers, you are going about the law the wrong way. Certain types of killing, look at the charges: a man driving, meeting to a car accident and kill someone. What are your charges here? What are you prosecuting for? There's no prosecutions or no charges once a person did not. If he's drinking and is toxic, you may be able to charge that person around the wheels. But if he lost control and hit someone and the person died, there's no charges there. That blood shedding has no affections in this universe of trial. The only way you find trial there, you're looking for ways of life with your technology to see if the wheel turns that way, the tread marks or whatever circumstances why he lost his control. We have a lot of people in the universe of life has been in jail for that situation. Father been showing me last night in the meeting. Look back at the persons that's in the cage. We always have to look at the person that's inside the cage. Because the person that's inside the cage of his freedom and his respect of life itself, when we speak about freedom, we talk about freedom in the straight path. It's a respect of life to make sure you do not do the wrong thing in the wrong manner of the wrong way. It's a respect of life to know that that person that was driving, he did not meant to do so. You have one killing there that many people in the universe of life is in jail for. Look at, we have that situation. That's one. The discussion about that, look over the case first. As a lawyer, investigators, look into the ways of life first. Do not pull switches on your sins. You can think you are living on a straight path, balance there. That's where sins comes in. That's where your temptations, and that's where you go with the luggage. That becomes your luggage because you lie to say you did know this and you did have this concept in front of you with your cycles of technology. Do you understand the concept of the person's life that you've taken while another one goes and know that it was an accident? It's your responsibility for the next life. Not a situation again. We are here speaking. We are training you and equipping you to straighten out the growth. Government. I know you have a situation with the economic problems with money and your circles that you issues money to. You issues money all over the whole entire universe of life between government and the circles. You do that in a reason to give back to the country the tax they take from them. But when you look at the situation, as I said forth, giving these money out there to the ones from different section of parties, but they are running that section of communities. It's only breaking. It's not building. There's no building there. No. No. There's no building there. You have a circle. You have a circle. Stop doing these things in the life, as I said before. It's damaging the ways of the economic growth. We need to find a balance there, and we ask for that. We ask for that. Step one, government. Next step, as I said, you need to change the situations of people traveling in the universe as oneness. No, you have to look through details because of criminality. Of criminality, you have to look through details. What type of criminality are you looking for a person to travel and make a better change in a different environment? So we have the situations as an environment and it's better change and a better ways of living. It makes a growth of ways of life, of traveling in the universe, just like cell phone and flying planes, better. For all economic in the universe of life, you should have one straight balance and no third world or fourth world or second world or first class. There's no first class here on earth. There's no third world, no fourth this. None of that. No. No countries, no third or no fourth or anything like that. Once you are taking stuff from another country that you don't have, you will average down to be the same. Why don't you do that? If you can do that for the fruits and take the fruits and take everything else, why can't you do that for the ones that's in front of you? That is the life. Supposed to be the ruler of the universe. Supposed to be the controlling training of the universe of life itself. Why don't you do that in the sense of where I know you have programs where you have people travel on the farms in many ways, of the hotels in many ways. But if you do so, in a sense of a way, I respect that, I give you that. But in a sense of a way, people that wants to go somewhere else do not want to go through your concept of your ways. You need to get the ways of life with the visa away from you. You don't need no visa to travel anymore because you do not have the concept to judge that person once he walks in front of your government office and hand you his money and his ticket and said, I want to go there. I want to make my life better. And what did you do to that person? You tell that person said no. And he lost all of that money and he comes again and you try one more time again and you throw him out the next door. How does that person get there from here? Because you're taking and destroying and surviving. It's about you stifling the opportunities of universe of life for others. This placement as a circle should be fixing those sections of life. Once you build the circle in the government ways, it's the sequence, the people with better ways of life, with the understanding as oneness as family. You talk about oneness and family in your country. You never see the oneness of the whole entire universe in one. Because you all fighting. If you're not fighting for the oil and not paying attention to the ones them that's here, that's using the oil. You're fighting for everything else, but you're not paying attention to the ones them that's here. Why are you here? What is the circle teaching? We are onto a voting to see who gets next. We're going to have the discussion into meetings and fighting. Why? There's no need to fight over who should be in rulings and who should be in ways of life and have these on the ways of programming on TV for people to watch. You should be fixing these ways of life in training and correcting and have the circle in the right way. Once you come in the formal and you come in to speak, you speak Florida to the person, to the universe. It's not that hard. It can never be hard. I know you have these ways. You have trafficking in your ways of life. You know what trafficking is? Human trafficking. Gentlemen, women, universe, family. You don't need to do any more trafficking in the worlds of life. These are the terms I'm having here. You save your money, you have a passport, your record is clear, we give you a check at the airport, and you may do so. You do not need to have a visa. This concept of respect of life is taking, and there's no growth. Where is all of those money going? What did they help with? What they help with? The plane? No, they did not. Where's everything going? What all these taxes of ways of life that's not written in the ways of life of tax is put in placement that should not be there. We talk about health. We talk about the ways of health. With dentists, as government, you are the one controlling these laws. You the one put this in placement for the universe. Why are you charging people for dentist work? A man knowledge from speaking forth should be always purification by the earth itself of oneness. Why are you changing those concepts? We have one more change here need to be looked at and change too. As I said, fix your circle and stop these bullshit with the voting because it does not build anything. The man that's come vote for you do not know what tomorrow brings. The man that votes for you next day, after next day, do not know what tomorrow brings. They have a thing what they call hoping. There's no hope there. There's no hope there. There's never been a hope on earth here. There's never once in ideas of life there was a hope on earth. Once you can see, there's no hope. Once you can hear, there's no hope. Once you have life itself, there is not no hope there. So as I give you these ways of my training and my teachings and rules and regulations for the universe, as we have laws. We have laws, but we do have flaws too. That's why I'm here. Because the flaws is all the ways of life, of the laws of life that we should be fixing. The racism. People always ask about the racism. It's always affections on the racism of cops in the universe of life. Cops. I don't call them cops anymore. Because the ways of how they live in the universe, of understanding, respect of the badge you wearing, the respect of life you have in front of you, the respect of the balance that you should have. You do not have them so. I know the rules kind of makes you a little bit different in life. I know the rules make you do what you want to do and make what happens in New York City happens. Yes, I know that. The rules are what destroying the world. The pandemic reaction is what caused infections in the universe of life for the past couple of years. Say 2 years. How do we go from here and make this change? It's to fix what's here now. How do we fix what's here now? That you don't have to have an office resign on national TV, publicly, ways of life in front of you as a highly. If you have those in placement, How do you fix the concept of the training if you did not see different ways of living as wrong, as laws? What is the result or the acceptations of settings, these foundations in the ways of life as the growth? We speak about that. Where is it? As I said, you get today as a government. The first step is to think about war. Is to think about war. What place can you take next? What kind of disease are you gonna inflictions on the earth? So you get up every day, you think about those ways, and you think about how much money did we get in for the day. Look at the growth of the ways of tax. Look at the growth of the ways of the economic. But you do not see the ways of life to fix the ways of the circle and fixing the ways of the straight path of the balance between the ways of the training. These ways of life are sitting in front of you at all times. Universe. It's right there. As kings and queens of the earth, you are not no more kings and queens anymore. You're just living. There's no acceptation from the heaven for kings and queens and popes. There's not one acceptation in the world for kings and queens and popes. Do you get my concept here? That's not how you live, my brothers and sisters. That's not how you go about life of the training and the love and the work. You have a gathering of greediness. You cannot have gathering of greediness and balance and believing those ways because of the richness. We cannot see where you can go underlined and felt the ways of darkness before you reach to the light. How did you get there? You are the one in placement on the earth here, putting people in placement. If you do so, you do it for your own greed, or you do it for money, or you do it for the ways of life as your training, as your development of knowledge from school educations. Why you stepped up, I want to be beside that man. I want to be beside that man. Those are the terms of life that you built here. But they're not recorded as respectful to the universe. They're not recorded as respect to the universe. There's nothing for you in the heavens that respects you there. Not until I see that progress and changings of life itself here while I'm here on earth, you will get that result from me here on the notifications and the power that's investing in the ways of my brothers. It's a blessing to know that I can accept every grain on earth as my family. It's a blessing to know that I can be here to tell you, you are the light. You are the light. You've been the light of the ways of life. And I'm here to see that. Yes, I have. Not saying I wouldn't give the result to the ways of life if we did not have government in placement here on earth. There'd be a lot of damage, a lot of effect. The journey of the whole entire world would never come to oneness in conscience. You got result and respect for that. But you still need to understand what's the affections of father and mothers and brothers watching over you while I'm here. It's your heart. It's your straight path. And it's your luggage. All in your ways of life is your luggage. And the wheels will put you to the test once you get there. It's your luggage. How do you fix this from here? How do you make the change from here? How do you connect all the links in the ways of life that it fits the universe angles of the circle? It's a blessing. As I said, these are upgrading from the ones that did not hear. And it's upgrading from last week teaching. We'll be elevating to a higher and higher level each moment, each teachings. We'll be elevating, fixing the hearts of the little ones on earth here. We'll be elevating for the economic. We'll be elevating for every ways of life as of notifications. Those blessings, it's a warmth, as I said forth. Keep the love on the straight path. Fix the truth with the balance. Blessings.